This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. Adult Christmas morning. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland.
Draft day.
Draft day. First round draft day, anyway.
Let's go.
From Pittsburgh, PA. Todd Wishnev, a Pittsburgh resident, has already said he's going to flee town for a few days. Not go to the River Sportsbook, go to a little one out of town.
I'm still looking forward to seeing the duck.
The world's largest inflatable duck, Sam Ginsberg, another Pittsburgh resident, informed us about. Cannot wait for all of it tonight. And if Daniel Jeremiah's last mock draft, which came out yesterday, let's just say it happened exactly his way, it's going to be a pretty darn good draft.
I'll take it. That's how our text went, right? It was like, I'll take that. I'll take that. Small winner, let's get out of here.
Book that right now. Let's get out of here. We look forward to talking. We'll get into Jeremiah's draft, actually. We'll talk to Mike Renner from CBS Sports about the NFL draft. Matt Brown, our own Matt Brown, on the National Football League draft as well. No longer bettable in the state of Nevada. They have that 24-hour rule. I think I misspoke yesterday because they used to be the midnight before.
Bro, I couldn't remember when you were saying.
Now it's 24 hours.
Yeah, I couldn't remember either.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I went to put in some stuff last night. I was like, where's all the draft stuff?
My bad. 24-hour rule here. But it's available in some states still. And so we will talk NFL draft heavy with those guys. Zack Cohen on the NBA playoffs. See if he's got any clay court tennis left on the day. And then how about some MLB awards?
Yeah, man.
Let's look at Manager of the Year, among other things. And then, of course, it is a Thursday, so you know what that means. Unscripted with the Crack Man, Bill Krackomberger back in studio. Zach and Crack. Zack Cohen, Bill Krackomberger are the bookends of the guests, of course, on the show today. And I'm sure Crack will have much to say about Caesars taking over operations over there at the Westgate. I know he has said as much on his podcast. I briefly talked about it yesterday, too, so we'll get into that, among other things. So it's not scripted, but I'm guessing that's what we'll talk about. Real quick, let's do the tennis first because I want to get these out of the way because I can never tell when they're going to start on the men's side. So they're in Madrid. We're now in clay court season. Before Madrid, I was like throwing out a pick, and then like one more pick the next day. I was waiting a couple more days to throw out another pick, and I was getting just the victim of small sample size picks, just losing everything. And then yesterday, starting with Madrid, which is the ramp up Madrid, Rome, Paris. I had 5 picks, went 3 and 2. Sorry that the 2 here on the show lost. It pays to be a subscriber, VSiN.com/picks. Today I have 8. 4 on the men's side, 4 on the ladies' side. Now on the ladies' side, these are all done or in motion. We are 3-0 on the ladies' side with Angelina Kalinina pending. So plus 124 dog on Christiane hits over Starodubtseva. Galfi, plus 168, hits, straight sets over Kalinskaya. Sampson, plus 104, hits over Xinyu Wang. We're trying to get Kalinina home for the women's sweep. The first men's play did lose. Marton Fucsovics lost in 3 to Pablo Carreño Busta. So that's our 1L on the morning so far. So we're 3-1. Galfi is also a winner. So 3-1. These are the 3 that remain.
Damn.
As we try to get to 4-1 with Kalinina, these are the 3 that remain on the men's side. Juan Manuel Cerundolo. He's the brother of Francisco Cerundolo. Kelly, you know that. Yeah.
All right.
Juan Manuel has a great clay game. He's minus 135 versus Daniel Altmaier. Sorry, these aren't the sexier ones. Gael Monfils, you could actually get it a better number than I did. I think about 15 cents better than I did. He's taking on Camilo Ugo Carabelli. This is the Monfils, I think you have one last clay court season in you play where it's like, this is it for him. He's 39 years old. It's his last year. This is his last clay swing. He's only won like 6 matches in the last calendar year. And he's the guy, remember, if you're a bettor and you bet on him and you lose and you go after him on social media, he will post a video and tell you how dumb you are for betting on him because he's 30. He's like, I'm 39 years old. What do you expect from me? You bet on me? Who's the stupid one, me or you?
That's pretty good.
And then the American serve bot Riley Opelka, who I wouldn't necessarily play on clay, but this is a fast clay as clay goes. So I'm on Opelka because I think that serve will actually be a weapon today against Nikolai Budkov-Kayer.
That's how you spell that guy's name? Nikolai Budkov?
Yes.
Kjaer?
I don't know if it's Kjaer. I'm going with Kjaer.
Okay.
I'm going with it. Don't hold me to that.
I won't. Don't worry.
Okay.
Because I have no idea where to even start on that.
All right. So Cerundolo, Monfils, Opelka, the ones that remain today. As far as the NBA last night, let's get into the NBA before we'll go full ham on the draft here coming up in the next segment. But I just want to get to the NBA plays tonight. Last night, not much to talk about. It was the 2-1-8 games, Detroit and Orlando, which was actually, Detroit led by as many as 8 in the first half, but it was 46-46 at the half. And you were like, oh, Orlando's playing them pretty well. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I played Orlando plus 8.5 in the contest. And then the Pistons started the third quarter with an 11-0 run that extended to a 30-3 run to go up 76-49. Remember, the halftime score was 46-46. At this point, I texted both Kelly and Danny because I couldn't believe the broadcast wasn't making a bigger deal about this. I thought Mike Breen was a little too nonchalant about what was going on. The record for the biggest margin in any quarter in the history of the NBA, remember this was a 30-3 run to start the quarter. The record, because I was curious, is 32, and they were at 27 at this point. I'm like, well, what are we watching here? Anyway, they end up winning the quarter by 22 points. They suck. And 38-16 frame, if you will. They're up 84-62. It was academic from there. 98-83. The Pistons cruise to a 15-point win. Cade Cunningham controlled the game. 27-6-11 that series. Knotted up at 1 apiece. Orlando got their split, though.
Yeah, this is one of those, Gil, where I'm like, I think going forward with this series, it's like, what do you take more away from? 1 quarter from the Detroit Pistons or 7 from the Orlando Magic?
It's exactly how I look at it.
And for me, it's a little bit more. That was the Pistons' third quarter, right? You saw the Pistons come alive. You saw the Orlando Magic, I think, sink back to kind of what they really are. But look, spin ahead to Game 3. I think this series gets interesting when Detroit's got to go on the road, right? Orlando still grabbed one in Detroit, so we'll see what they can do on the road now. I'm not going to be trusting them on the side. I think last night, though, great example of this series of, man, you're not going to be catching me betting an over anytime soon, and with this being the early tip on Saturday, I think it's going to be back to the under. You're looking at 219.5 last night. It's not like
even close.
214.5 for Game 3.
Yeah.
I think I'm still going to be under that.
181 points of that game scored. That game was scored yesterday. The second game was the first NBA playoff game I didn't watch a whole bunch of. OKC and Phoenix. OKC led by as many as 9 in the first quarter, but they only led the first quarter by 1 point. And then the Suns hit a bucket to go up 32-30 at the beginning of the second quarter, and that, Kelly Bidlin, would be their last lead of the game. OKC led by 8 at the half. They outscored Phoenix 35-20 in the third quarter. That was kind of the story of both games last night, the big third quarters for the 1 seeds. But in that run to lead by 23 at the end of the third quarter, 100-77, Jalen Williams, hamstring injury. Yeah. That's big. You know how hammies go. So we'll see what the story is for OKC. Thunder win it, by the way. The Suns did get kind of close-ish. They got to 110-100 with just under 4 minutes to play. So it was a little bit hairy at one point, but not that bad. Thunder win at 120-107, never really in doubt. They do not get the cover as a result of that Phoenix run at the end, though. Phoenix gets the money. SGA 37-5-9, Brooks 30 in defeat for the Thunder, and he handled for the Suns, and he handled it as well as ever. So Thunder up 2-0 in that series against the Suns. It's hard to see the Suns winning a game here.
It is. Yeah. And look, there were some really bad officiating moments in that game last night, but my God, it is the Thunder's ability to get under these guys' skin and just all season long, the past couple seasons, it is star player after star player complaining after games. Look, there were, again, some were rightfully so last night, but tell me you're getting on tilt a little bit when you play the Thunder, when you can't control yourself post game anymore and not bring up something about the officiating. So, the headline though, absolutely. I think this series, okay, maybe the Suns steal a game or something. I really don't think it's going to be any more than that. I'm kind of with you. I think we're heading towards a sweep, though. It's Jalen Williams. It's a night after Wembanyama with a concussion, but concussions, we know, a little less concerning long term than a hamstring strain. Look, this is something to watch out for. And we've talked about this Thunder team. They got pushed by Denver last postseason. We've had questions about them heading into this season, and as dominant as they've been, and much of that throughout this regular season without Jalen Williams, if you remove a chess piece off the board for OKC, right, when you get to Denver, when you get to San Antonio, it starts to get more and more interesting. So something to keep our eyes on here.
Triple header tonight, game 3s, pardon me. We're back. We are now in Atlanta against the Knicks, series tied at 1 game apiece. The Knicks are 1-point road favorites, totals at 216. Cavs are up 2 on the Raptors. We're in Toronto, I should say, for the first time for Game 3 tonight. Cavs still a 3-point road favorite, total 222. And then the Nuggets and the T-Wolves, Game 3. This is the one I think most people are looking forward to tonight. Nuggets are 2-point favorites on the road. The series tied up at 1 apiece, total 234.5. This after Jaden McDaniels was like, hey, we're just going to go at all these poor defenders.
Including you, Aaron Gordon. I hope you heard that, man. One of the best defenders in the league. I hope you heard that. Yeah, my ego might be getting a little in the way on this one, Gil. I'm not going to lie. I have series bets on Denver and New York. New York, I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines tonight. Denver, I'm going back in, especially after those comments. Anthony Edwards, he's still had a great game, but he's still pretty obviously banged up. And the guy that you rely on so much offensively, still struggling to come along health-wise. I've got concerns about 41% from 3 for Minnesota. Can you replicate that again? The one thing Denver has to do, they're getting killed on the glass, and it's leading to easy runouts for Minnesota. Got to stop at. Interested to see if they can. Easier said than done, obviously. One thing with the trends, if you are into this stuff, on the road this year against the number 24-17 for Denver, Minnesota 18-23 at home. So kind of got that going for them. We'll see. Big game tonight. I can't wait for it.
No play on the game itself?
No, I'm on Denver money line. I'm Denver money line. Did I not say that part? Sorry.
The ego perhaps in the way. Play.
Yeah. That's right. I have serious bets. I probably should just be riding those.
NFL draft. Let's do it. Next on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Get VSiN Pro for just $9.99 for your first 30 days and start betting with the edge serious bettors rely on every day. Access expert picks, real-time odds, and actionable insights across every major sport. Plus, get player prop projections powered by Opta AI, daily picks delivered straight to your inbox, and betting guides for every major sporting event. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Thursday's edition of Money Moves, we continue our deep dive as the NFL Draft is here. Nick Kosmider is going to join us. We'll get the Denver Broncos perspective on the NFL Draft, our best bets, and some late information moving these markets. Will tell you where you can put your money as we get closer to the first round. We get our usual handicapping slate in the association, and we'll dive into this strong trend that is absolutely crushed. We'll tell you why you shouldn't play it. It's Money Moves, 11 to 1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern, here only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
If you want to bet smarter, you can start with Smarter Insights on the website, of course, at VSiN.com. Now on VSiN.com, Matt Humans, Tim Murray, and the GM Shuffle mock drafts. How about that? 3 mocks on the website. Forget Daniel Jeremiah's, which I'm about to go through. You got Humans, Murray, and the GM Shuffle mocks on the website. John Hansen's NFL Draft Best Bets. Greg Peterson's MLB Best Bets as well. And later today on the website, Zack Cohen's NBA Playoff Best Bets. We'll have Zach on here momentarily. Jonathan Davis's NHL Playoff Picks and Props. And UFC Vegas 116 predictions. How about that? Get VSiN Pro access through August 1st with a spring special for only $59. Find all of our subscription options at VSiN.com/subscribe. How about that?
You know how often you do that read, and I think you're about to start singing "If You Like Pina Coladas."
Why is that?
It starts with you always start it with "If You Like." I'm like, I just want Gil to go fully into the song at some point.
Do you know who sings
I've been
the Pina Colada
I've been waiting
song?
for years.
Do you know who sings the Pina Colada song?
No.
Rupert Holmes.
I should know that one, man. I should know that one. I'm rarely upset at myself for these. That one I'm upset about.
Yeah. So you are on the Nuggets today.
Yes.
Perhaps my ego's getting in the way play. Anything on the first 2 games, real quick, before we get to the draft?
Yeah, apparently I'm not going to let the Knicks, my ego get in the way of the Knicks. I'm just going to let that one play out because I do have similar series bets on Knicks and Denver. I do lean New York, though, tonight. Probably going to be a killer contest play for me. Got to decide. Karl-Anthony Towns props, kind of like over points and rebounds, too, but this happens to me a lot with the Knicks in the playoffs. I expect them to feed Karl-Anthony Towns way more than they do, and it becomes frustrating. Look, this is...
Oh, my God.
They've been killing Atlanta on the glass. I think this should be 2-0 going back to Atlanta. They have stolen these games in fourth quarters, great fourth quarters, both games by Atlanta. But, man, that was all about... We talked about it a lot yesterday. Way more about a Knicks loss to me than an Atlanta win in that game, too. 63% from the free throw line New York was in that game, too. Clean some stuff up. Can't let Atlanta get to the rim as easily. Got 28 shots at the rim in game 2, converted 23 of those. Got to slow that down. The bigs got to be better on New York. They've got to be able to punish Atlanta for not being able to match up size-wise for them down low. I think they can, though. I think this is a Knicks team that should, because of that, have the advantage in every single game that they play with Atlanta. It was heavy lean to the Knicks side. I mean, no play, though, pregame. Just going to ride out the series bets.
Okay. To the National Football League draft.
Well, what about the Cavs Raptors?
Oh, you want Cavs Raptors?
I've got absolutely nothing.
Pass.
Okay. It's a big pass for me. The Raptors kind of in shambles, though, right now. Even Darko's going nuts on Jakob Poeltl. Like, you have no idea what their starting lineup's going to be. Waiting to see what that's going to be. I think there could be some over-rebounding prop opportunities on Toronto, perhaps with the Cavs as well. We did Hardwood Handicappers this morning. Myself, Zach, JVT. Zach coming up here next segment. And it was JVT, I know, is going back to Cleveland. I can't argue that. Like, they're just out. Toronto's outclassed here.
Carl Sack threatening to run away with the VSiN playoff challenge. The VSiN Killer Sports playoff challenge.
People finally banked some wins last night. I know I at least got one home.
Not me. I had Orlando. I was the only one, I think, who lost.
Well, at least you were against like 11 people or something. I saw.
Would have been a big lead play. Instead, I'm a distant second to Sack. Distant. I don't know how I'm still in second. To the NFL draft. Daniel Jeremiah yesterday put out his final draft. Now, before last year, he would kind of do the mock thing like everybody else did, and then I guess he kind of realized he was the dude. I think he became the front runner of mockers, if you will. And then he started doing that press conference thing that he did last year, where he's like, I'll do a press conference and I'll take questions before I'm going to wait till the very end to put out my final mock.
Well, that was a good idea because he kept turning down every one of our guest requests.
Yes, he did.
I pulled up my text history with him. It said it looked like a lot of Kelly being shot down.
So he finally put out his final mock. He did that again this year. He finally put out his final mock, and it was interesting. Mendoza goes first to the Raiders. No surprise there. Who does he have going to the New York Jets? David Bailey from Texas Tech. If that happens, I'm off to a good start.
It feels like that's like an upset at this point if it goes anywhere else.
Well,
it feels like everybody's saying Bailey now these last 2 days.
Yeah, him and McShay anyway. And then I have people who think they have intel that say otherwise. So I don't know. Drew is not going to be happy if it's Bailey too, I think.
What's he on? Reese?
I think he's on Reese, yeah. Saints at 3 via trade. So you know how it goes when you start doing trades. So he thinks the Cardinals are going to trade out of 3 to the Saints and take Arvell Reese. So take that for what it's worth. The Titans, though, are going to go, according to Jeremiah, are going to go Sonny Styles at 4. Now, this has become a thing where more and more now as we approach the draft tonight, it looks like the Titans want to go defense.
Mm-hmm.
It like the whole Jeremiah Love thing ain't going to happen. They're going to go defense with Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles, who, by the way, is a Washington fan, that's the player I covet at 7. According to Jeremiah, it ain't going to last. And then Jeremiah Love goes to the Giants at 5. So I'll hit my under 5.5 if that happens as well on Love. From there, he has Spencer Fano, first offensive lineman, to go to Cleveland at 6. Washington then takes, according to Jeremiah, Jordan Tyson, the ASU wide receiver, as the first wideout selected at 7. I'm going to be like, okay, all right. I mean, we do need a wideout. I'll just be let down because I want one of the stud defenders.
Yeah.
Then he's got Arizona with that trade of the Saints taking Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle. Kansas City would take Mansour Delane, the cornerback from LSU, as the first corner selected at 9. And then the Giants would wrap up the top 10 with Carnell Tate, second wide off the board at 10. That's Daniel Jeremiah's. Other notables, Reuben Bain would go 11 to the Dolphins. Caleb Downs would go 12. Caleb Downs would fall to the Cowboys at 12 in his scenario.
What a gift that would be for them.
And then we'd hit our Kenyon Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq would go 14 to the Ravens per Jeremiah.
That's right. Keep it in mind, Baltimore. Danny, call him. Call him. Tell him to keep it in mind. Need a tight end there.
I'd hit Dylan Thieneman over 17.5. He'd go 19 to the Panthers, according to Jeremiah. What else? Anyway, on and on. Ioane would go 22nd. I'd hit that. It would be a great draft for me. If Jeremiah, not great, it would be a very good draft.
I like that we're on the other sides of each other, the Ioane one, because I've seen top 10 and 20s in the past couple days on him. Somehow it's grown apart even more. So who knows?
I'd lose some too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd lose some bets also, but I'd win more than I'd lose. So and you know what? I'll be happy with that. In a draft where we have said time and time again, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me Bailey 2 and then Love 5, then the rest is sort of like, okay, this can't be a disaster, and maybe we'll even get a win now moving forward. How you feeling? How you feeling about it? I think those are the biggest developments in the last 24 hours per that mock to me, is that Bailey becomes solidified at 2.
Yeah.
And that the Titans do not go Love. That the Titans go Styles, and the Giants are just like, bro, we'll have a Jeremiah Love, Cam Scatterbo backfield behind Jackson Dart. We got Malik Neighbors on the outside. If you're a Giants fan, and then we still have 10, and we still got the 10th pick. I mean, the Giants can't mess this up, man.
So for mess
it up. They're going to be great.
Right now,
great, feeling great. I should say they're not going to be a great football team. They're going to be feeling great after this draft.
Right now, I think that's what you've kind of got to be thinking. It's that third pick, right? Like I'm kind of sounds like it's more and more Bailey here too. I'm with you. Like that's becoming more solidified here. But 3, what do the Cardinals do? And I think they should trade out. I think a lot of these teams should trade down if they can. Let someone. I guess the question is, does someone have to jump up there to get Jeremiah Love?
Well, so the rumor also was that obviously. And this is where I get back to my comment of, I feel like, this is Jeremiah aside, I feel like all those mock drafters this year were just filling the assignment that they had to turn in a certain number of mock drafts. This is what they're known for, right? The Kuipers and McShays and now the Schragers of the world, right? It's mock draft season. They got to turn in a certain amount. And I just feel like in past years, they knew stuff. There was intel. And I feel like this year there was just the physical act of turning in an assignment because they had to, and they really didn't know anything. And that the last wave of them all had Dallas trading up to 6 to get Sonny Styles. And that was sort of the tell for me that all they needed was like one bit of information, like, ooh, Jerry Jones likes Sonny Styles. Yeah. And they all decided, I think Luke may have even said this on the podcast, and they're all like, oh, we got to make a trade on Dallas to 6 to Sonny Styles. So I don't know if I don't know if Sonny Styles is even going to be available now. Sure. He could go 4 if you believe what we just heard from Jeremiah.
Right now, just odds for those top picks. Bailey, number 2, minus 135. Arvell Reese, number 3, plus 165. These are all your favorites for each one of these. Jeremiah Love, plus 130 to be 4th overall pick. Sonny Styles at plus 165. Kind of intrigues me there.
I got Bailey at over $2 to go number 2. Timed perfectly. And by the way, the Caleb Downs thing would work out perfectly for me. I got him over 9.5 at plus 164. So those are the other big thing here also, though, is What about the quarterbacks? Beyond Mendoza, is Ty Simpson?
Oh, I might have made a bet on one of those last night,
Oh,
Gil.
what'd you do? Oh, because by the way, Jeremiah, just to clear, he has Ty Simpson going 26 to the Cardinals in a projected trade. So make of that what you will. You made a Carson Beck bet.
Carson Beck, first round pick, 100-1.
Will brought that up yesterday on the show. He's like, are we all just deciding that Ty Simpson is a better draft prospect than Carson Beck was? And your comment I thought was great, which is what?
He's only gotten 1,000 college teams to give him a second chance because there's something there. All he got to do is convince one NFL team. I think it's a good point. Tom Pelissero had some comments about it yesterday too.
And you said, why wouldn't he fool another NFL team?
Why can't he fool one more team? I've seen it.
We shall see. Zack Cohen first on the NBA and tennis on the other side. Then we'll get to some more draft talk. Next on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin. Hey, don't forget about this contest going on. It's called the Sharps Invitational. Season-long NFL bankroll tournament. Think poker meets football. That's what you need to think about. Where poker meets football. Start with 10,000 chips. Put them to work on spreads, totals, parlays, even props. NFL Week 1 through the Super Bowl. Stack your chips. Climb the leaderboard. Compete for real money. 3 tiers, 3 champs, 3 prize pools worth playing for. Sign up today at jointhesharps.com. That's jointhesharps.com. Scan that QR code bottom left of your screen for more details. We get tweets at Beating the Book. This is from iHeart SEC podcast. Is it them feeding Cat or Towns not being as aggressive, which is typical come playoffs?
Both.
By
Yeah.
the way, did you hear Cat made an appearance on the show a little earlier?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Zipper Merge Professional. Gil, do you know the actual name of the Pina Colada song? Isn't it Escape? Something like that?
Oh, going back to Google.
Ed Lane. Do you get the
Escape? Good job.
Thank you. Ed Lane, you're not going to... There's a certain musical wheelhouse. You're just not going to get one.
Now, is it Escape or is it Escape then in parentheses the Pina Colada song? Because that's the only way it's coming
parentheses.
up.
Yes, parentheses for the Pina Colada song.
Sounds like you just you misnamed the song then, Rupert. Like, why don't just go with the Pina Colada song? That's what everybody knows it as.
There's tons of songs like that, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Although you're right, usually it's not the parenthetical part. Ed Lane, do you get the impression that Daniel Jeremiah was using his final mock draft more for entertainment purposes than to actually convey his inside info? With the volume of mock trades, it seemed more like a day thought exercise than an actual projection. Ed, only time will tell. It's my only answer to that. We will not know until we see what happens tonight. Primetime Leon Sanders. Because we'll find out. Was there any validity to it, any truth to it or not? Primetime Leon Sanders, yo, hey man. Love the subtle Mel Allen tribute from you. Did you catch that one, Kel? Do you know who Mel Allen is? This week in baseball. You know
yeah.
How about that? Perhaps next time throw Country Club K, Michael Bidlin, and the rest of the kids a curveball and give them a Barry Sheck. There. How about that, Mr. Fung? What is that from? I don't know what that is. Blank stares from behind the glass will follow. Peace, love, and OJ. Oh, that's OJ's attorney? Is that OJ's attorney,
yes.
Barry Sheck?
Yes,
that's right.
That's who that is.
Barry Sheck, the least sort of out there attorney from OJ's defense team. Everybody knew Johnny Cochran, of course. F. Lee Bailey, Robert Shapiro, his friend Robert Kardashian. Barry Sheck is the low-key one. Good call. All right, we went 4-0 in tennis on the ladies' side. Kalinina got it home. So 4-0 and all 4 of them were dogs. So that was a big morning in women's tennis. We are 0-1 on the men's side, so I don't want that to go 0-4, obviously. So hopefully we get a few of those home. You know who else has tennis picks? Zack Cohen, everybody, joins us as the first part of the Zack and Crack comedy duo on the Thursday edition of A Numbers Game. Zack Cohen joins us now courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at BettingOnX and all of his stuff, of course, regardless of sport, at the website at VSiN.com. Good morning, Zack.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. What do you have left in Madrid this morning, sir?
Yeah, so 2 of the plays that I have not yet started, I have Gael Monfils plus 160 against Camilo Ugo Carabelli.
Let's go.
That is one where I just feel that the serve difference should be a big factor. This is a clay court tournament played at altitude, which makes it a little bit more server friendly than most of your clay court tournaments. And Monfils has a lot of power, so I believe he can kind of push him around a little bit. And I just think this price is a little off given the talent disparity here and the fact that Monfils on his retirement tour will have the crowd everywhere he goes. And you're going to see some of that spectacle from Monfils on clay with the sliding, the diving, all of it. I think this is going to be a good show from him. I believe you have that as well.
You and me are both on Monfils. I did not expect that we would both match on it. You got a way better number than I did. I bet it on the overnight. Usually I got great CLV, got terrible CLV on this one. I think I'm like plus 134 or something like that. I don't care. Let's go. I'd rather have the win than the CLV. I hope you're mine is a similar thought. It's like, okay, this is the final countdown. This is the European clay swing. If he's ever going to shine again, this will be it with the showmanship. And on the ladies' side, you are fading our girl Naomi Osaka.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really tough matchup for Osaka. They just played at Indian Wells, and Osaka did win. But while that is a slower hard court, it is a hard court, and I feel the same way about this tournament. It's a faster clay court, but it is a clay court. And Osaka is a player that's just 29-29 on clay in her career. This is the worst surface for her in terms of just results throughout her career. And Osorio's a player that has been really, really good on this surface. She's 54-24 at the WTA level on the dirt. That's an outrageous record. I think that she's going to have a little bit more success than Osaka in longer rallies. And I do think that she's going to have more success as a server in these conditions than she did in Indian Wells, just because I do think between the speed of the ball and just setting up the +1s and all that, I think she's going to have just more success when she is serving. Osaka was in a lot of her service games at Indian Wells.
It's interesting with Osaka. I wonder if there is a part of my brain that says, is this the end for her too? Like, I just think her mind might be completely elsewhere, meaning on her child. And so there wouldn't be anything wrong with that if this happens to be the final stretch for her, although there's no indication of that. The thought did occur to me with her. Last thing on tennis, French Open. You were the first person to throw around the whole stuff about Carlos with the wrist guard. Did you bet Sinner to win the French Open, and did you bet anything on the ladies' side yet?
I have Sinner +130. I took it right after talking to you. I want to say it was last week on Thursday.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good number. I didn't know that we would see Alcaraz potentially out for this tournament. What I thought is maybe, he just wouldn't be able to train the way that he normally would like to. And that was enough to give me an edge with Sinner, because I do think Sinner is making very fast strides on the clay. I think we saw it last year, just how quickly he was able to become, a borderline French Open champion. He was 3 points away. Actually, sorry, 1 point away, had 3 championship points. But then moving to Monte Carlo this year, beating Alcaraz on the slowest conditions you could possibly play. I just feel like he's right there with him. So the fact that Alcaraz, I thought, was not going to be able to practice was really big, because Sinner makes so many fast improvements during his kind of training blocks. But now it looks like Alcaraz might just be out. I mean, wrist injuries have killed careers in tennis. Like, I feel like people don't really realize how serious they can be. Like, Dominic Thiem, one of the best players in the world, is not playing right now because he injured his wrist. So Alcaraz's team is going to have to be very, very careful with that injury.
Dominic Thiem, who was actually a Grand Slam winner. He won that tournament where Jokic hit the ball girl, right? Not the ball girl, but the lines judge, pardon me, with the tennis ball at the COVID U.S. Open, that strange one. Okay, I lied. I said that in the VSiN Killer Sports Playoff Challenge that I was still in second place. That is incorrect. Last year's runner-up, Zack Cohen, is in second place.
Oh,
I mentioned that. I mentioned yesterday. I was like, "Look at Zack! Just look at him, just lurking."
Zach finished second last year?
You did, right, Zach? Right?
I was tied for second. I want to say with Doug Kazarian. Was it Doug Kazarian?
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were second and Doug was third, but I guess you guys were tied. And I was fourth last year, right? So okay, Zach's in second again. Carl Sack threatening to run away and hide in this tournament. Carl is 8-3. Zach is 5-1. Zach, well done here in the early going. I was 5-1 once upon a time. I remember it like it was 2 days ago.
I guess they're fine.
Hasn't worked out since. Okay, so you were on Phoenix against the spread yesterday, and you were on the under in the Orlando-Detroit game at 219. That was as easy as it gets. That last Phoenix burst got you the money and the win in the contest in the OKC Phoenix game. What about those two series? Let's just start there. How are you feeling about OKC? I'm going to assume you think that a sweep is very possible, but what about Orlando and Detroit moving forward?
So I will say, I feel like maybe I'm in the minority, and it could be because I'm a homer, but I do think the Suns are going to win one at home. I just feel like they have played OKC really tough this year. They do have a home win over OKC during the regular season, and that was a game where the Thunder were at full strength. So I think that there is a belief with that Suns team that they can go out and win a game, and I think they're going to take a lot of pride in just doing so. Like, that's the type of team this has been all year, where it's like the small wins, the culture changing has added up. So I do think you're going to see the Suns win either game 3 or game 4, but I do think it's going to be a 5-game series, and we'll probably see another blowout or two along the way. But the other series, I've kind of, stayed strong thinking it's going to be Detroit. Where this series is impacting my thinking with the Pistons is that I feel more vindicated in what I was saying throughout the regular season, that this team's lack of a secondary scoring option is going to prevent them from beating one of the other top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference. So I think they get by Orlando. I think we saw it last night. They should be able to do that even without that secondary scoring piece. The defense is just that good. I think that there's more night-by-night consistency with the Pistons, but we'll see. It's going to be really tough. I do think they're going to have to play 6 or 7 games, and then all of a sudden you're talking about Cleveland potentially facing them with way more rest, way more firepower, and I do think the Cavaliers are the main winner here. I think that they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Wow. Cade Cunningham, it just felt like he can do whatever he wants on the court at any time at the slowest speed imaginable.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to just take my time.
And he's just got to get a little bit of help like he did last night. Just a little bit of help on the defensive side and a little bit of help on the offense.
It was nice of Jalen Duren to show up yesterday.
But even he didn't have like a huge game.
No. I'm trying to think who was.
I'm with Zach though, and get through Orlando, and then you're in trouble.
Then you're in trouble after that. Okay,
Duren outplayed Wendell Carter Jr. At least that was like what they needed.
That's right.
Bare minimum of what they needed. Yes,
that's right. There's a lot of smiling going on with the Magic last night. Like they were kind of like, whatever, we got one.
They were finally the team they were back in August again. You know,
this is great. No problem. We'll be back. Okay, after the break. Zach will join us again. We'll see if we can't coax a couple picks contest-wise, what he might be playing in the contest tonight. It's early. It doesn't matter. There's no gamesmanship yet. And then all of his prop plays tonight in the NBA triple header as the NBA playoffs roll on. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
It's a numbers game live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland, alongside producer number 9. So much more than a producer.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. I'm Jim Nance. Mark Gupta on Twitter. Hey, Gil. As a Raiders season ticket holder living in Chicago, my ticket partners and I are wondering if we're getting a generational quarterback in Mendoza. Your thoughts? A guest of yours always says accuracy is the best barometer versus arm strength. That guest is Dr. Bob, Bob Stoll, who always does say that about, he has always said that through the years about quarterbacks. The single best predictor of success is accuracy. And that was sort of, that sort of bucked the conventional wisdom that it's a really tough thing to project for many, many years. And then Josh Allen came around.
Yeah. And
then Josh Allen was terrible with accuracy at Wyoming. And then he developed it as a pro quarterback, which is like super rare. But as far as your question, is he generational? There's a lot of people who think he is not. And I don't know if it's the judging of the book by its cover, because he is, let's face it, he's not your central casting quarterback. The way he talks, the way he is willing to talk so much, and so I don't know if that's a listen. I don't know is a long way of saying I have no idea. I just know that that being drafted by your Raiders ain't the best thing in the world. It's tough. Your situation. I'll answer it this way. I've always said that if Peyton Manning was drafted by the early '90s Washington football team, the Skins, he would not have become the Peyton Manning that we know, because he would have had a different coordinator every year and a different coach. By the way, late 90s, I know, not early 90s, but he would have had a different coordinator. He would have had a different coach, right? And he still had the pedigree of Peyton Manning, so he would have been okay, but he would not have been this guy. I think your situation, and by the way, the NFL is strewn with quarterbacks who ended up in bad situations that we will never know if they could have been different had they just had consistency and continuity with their coaches.
Yep.
So that will determine it more than anything. I'll answer it that way.
2 quick things to add on. He's got a great running back. He's got that going for him. Okay?
He's got that going for him.
I thought I saw a good exchange between Dan Orlovsky and Daniel Jeremiah on this week, because Orlovsky has kind of gotten to questioning how great is he really going to be.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah's kind of simple explanation was like, look, I don't know. It's always hard to project these things, but I can tell you, when we take it into draft terms, we're talking about a lot of edges and defensive players that are getting drafted real high that went up against Fernando Mendoza, and not many Indiana offensive linemen. And this is the guy who made something special when it mattered against all of them.
It's a great point. It's a great point. Tim Bowers, so I can get a better price on Orlando to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals today? Well, yeah, because they lost. What am I missing there? I don't know. Matthew Mayberry, Mon-Fri plus 174 on DraftKings right now. Even better price on Gael Monfils than what either Zach and I got on it. All right, Zack Cohen, kind enough to join us for a second segment here, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line again, at Betting on X, great Twitter handle. Zach does tennis, he does college pro football, college pro basketball, he does it all. This man does it all, for God's sakes. And, of course, NBA is the host of the Hardwood Handicappers podcast, which he does how many times a week, Zach? Every day? Monday through Friday? Oh, we lost Zach's audio.
You, bud.
Uh-oh.
I'll take the time to say that it's funny because he when we switched to X, I remember Zach running to grab this handle.
Betting on X.
And it's great how you still just introed it as Twitter, because we all just call it Twitter.
I still say Twitter. I still say tweets. For a little while, people are like, you should probably get with it. It's X. I'm like, I will never get with
never
it.
Happened.
And by the way, I think history has proven me to be right.
Never happened.
Yeah. No, it is Monday. It was Hardwood Handicappers Monday through Friday every day. Zach hosts it. If you want more information, there's the QR code. You can scan it on the screen. Kelly, when he feels like it, shows up on the show as well.
I like changing around my weekly schedule, yeah.
JVT, when he feels like it, shows up as well. They kind of abandoned Zach. Zach, do you feel abandoned?
No, we actually had all 3 of us on for the first time in a really long time this morning, so that was cool.
Nice.
The throwback to the original Hardwood Handicappers. Oh, not the original. The original was JVT and Kelly.
Well,
the original is JV2, so like 3.0. Yeah.
3.0. Okay. Let's get back to the games tonight. We have a triple header. Let us start with let's start with the Knicks and the Hawks. What do you have in that game?
Yeah, I have Karl Anthony Towns over 2.5 assists in this game. Heard you guys talking about a little bit. I think that Towns is just going to be way more involved than he was in game one. I mean, he was doing a pretty good job of impacting the game for 3 quarters in game two. I just feel like he was in a little bit of foul trouble. Fourth quarter came, Knicks got punched in the mouth, and I think that they resorted back to some of that Jalen Brunson hero ball that you've seen all throughout, the Tom Thibodeau era, and now you see it here where games get tight and they feel like their only option is to roll it out to Brunson. But the reason Mike Brown was brought in there was to kind of bring in some new wrinkles late in games. And I just think they're going to have more of a plan and more of a structure in terms of just getting Towns the ball. And Towns has done a really good job of getting his teammates involved as a playmaking hub this year. So 3+ assists, I think that's very reasonable to ask from him. He had 4 in game one. He had a 6-assist game against this Hawks team like 2 weeks ago. I think he could have 3.
Call the foul. You can't think of other Karl. There's another one. What's it? Oh my God! Call the foul. Oh, what's the other one? Oh, after all that, that's the other one. All right, let's go to the Cavaliers and the Raptors, where the Cavs are favored by 3. Totals 219.5.
Yeah, and this is a game where I actually have 2-player props, so I'm kind of attacking the center position in this one. Talked about this a little bit on Hardwood Handicappers, but there's just been a little bit of a Jakob Poeltl problem happening in Toronto, where they just have not felt comfortable playing him very much. That's led to more minutes for Sandro Mamukelashvili, who is available at 4.5 rebounds tonight. I took the over at -130. Mamu's averaging 9 rebounds per game in this series so far. 8 boards in game 1, 10 boards in game 2, and he's had 5+ in 8 of his last 10 games. Also 5+ in all 5 of the games he's played against the Cavaliers this year. I think he's going to have a pretty good game on the glass tonight, so I took that. I also took Evan Mobley over 16.5 points at -114 because with no Poeltl out there, Mobley just has a size advantage over all of the bigs that Toronto is going to be throwing out there. He's averaging 21 points per game in this series so far. In the last 16 games he's played with Mitchell and Harden also, 19.7 points per game. I just feel like life has become a lot easier on him ever since they acquired James Harden. I think you're going to see that throughout this postseason.
Sandro Mamukelashvili over 4.5 rebounds. I just wanted to say it.
Well done.
And Evan Mobley over 16.5 points in the Raptors-Cavs game. All right, to the Nuggets and the T-Wolves. You have a prop there, too.
Yeah, so I have Jamal Murray over 24.5 points in this one. This was a prediction market play. I got a better number there than I did in normal shops, but over 24.5. I would play over 25.5, which is the number elsewhere. But this is a guy that's averaging 30 points per game in this series. He's had 30 points in both of the games in this series, and he's had 25+ in 5 of his 6 games against Minnesota this season. I feel like we look at this Timberwolves team, and we see a very good defensive team. They've been great on that end of the floor for years now, and Rudy Gobert, still a very good anchor of an elite defense. But this team has struggled with pick-and-roll ball handlers this year. They struggle with dribble handoffs, and they do put opponents on the line. All of that really should kind of play into Jamal Murray's hands tonight. So I think he goes right back to scoring, pretty efficiently here. And even though it's a road game, I feel pretty comfortable with him having a good game. And I should mention, kind of like Kelly, I think, I do like all of the road teams in these games. I'm just not taking them because I already have series plays on all of these. So I don't feel like adding in the games I'm not super confident in.
Makes sense. By the way, a awards update we haven't mentioned. Remember, Wembanyama won Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous on Monday. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won Clutch Player of the Year. By the way, the Kia Clutch Player of the Year.
That's right, get it right.
These are all Kias. Last night, Keldon Johnson of the Spurs won Kia Sixth Man of the Year. Anybody have that? You have it, Zach? You have it, Kelly?
Nope.
Nobody? Okay.
Kind of stayed away from that one.
Tonight, the Sportsmanship Award. I hope we bet that one heavy. No one? And then most
Would it be
improved.
unsportsmanlike to bet on the Sportsmanship Award?
Great point. Tomorrow's the big one. Speaking of prediction markets, I have Denny Avdia most improved at Kalshi for large money. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I know you have a huge bet on Denny Avdia as well. What's your number?
I have 20-1.
21.
Yeah, not a huge one.
Mine's like 17-1. Yeah. Okay.
I hope we both lose and Jalen Duren wins, but
let's go. Thank you, Kalshi, for keeping that up this week. All right, you're not making actual bets on the sides for the reasons you just stated, but what are those going to be your contest plays? What do you got tonight in the contest?
So for the contest, I have the over in the Raptors-Cavaliers game, which is strictly just a number play. That is 221.5 now if you're looking at actual shops. We have it in the contest at 219. So easy decision for me to kind of play the over on the stale line. And I am playing the Nuggets in Minnesota because I do think that Denver finds a way to get back in the win column here. I kind of think, I feel like I'm in the minority of thinking this, but like there was a really dumb technical foul in the second quarter of that Nuggets Timberwolves game that just sucked the energy out of the building. And that was kind of like the turning point in the game for me. I think that Denver's still a much better team than Minnesota, even though the Timberwolves are way better suited for the postseason than they are the regular season.
I will also be on the Cavs Raptors over 219. I noticed that as well. The difference in the total number versus the market total currently. And I would suggest that if anybody's in this contest that does not play that,